Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome to another installment of Red's Top 10. After a bit of an engaging conversation with Kaz, while we were talking about boss fights, she came to the conclusion that Papu Papu from Crash Bandicoot 1 is the easiest boss fight ever. And while I will agree that Papu Papu is pretty easy, I don't think he would be in my top 10. But that got me to thinking, who would be in my top 10? And so, I've put together this list, counting down 10 of the easiest boss fights that I could think of. Whether the bosses barely put up a fight, or the fight itself is too simple, anything goes. If I think the fight is too easy, I'll put it in this list. I'm gonna try and keep the first level bosses to a minimum. You would expect a first world boss to be pretty easy, but if I find one that's exceptionally easy, then I'll probably include it in this list. And so, let us begin the countdown. Banjo-Tooie had some pretty cool and challenging bosses. Unfortunately, Old King Cole wasn't one of them. He is the boss you face inside the train. Once the fight starts, just jump on top of this rock, bust out your eggs, and open fire upon him, while he just runs around the room frantically, trying to hit you. Other than heating up the room and running around like this, I haven't really seen him do anything, so you don't really need to watch out for any attacks either. Just stand there and spam eggs. And eventually body parts will start falling off of him. Yeah, if you just keep laying on the egg shots, then this is a pretty short and easy fight. For a quicker fight, use the ice eggs to beat him. Then you can call him Old King Cole. The battle with Bowser in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Yes, this is the final boss of the game, and I'm naming it number 9 on the easiest boss fights list. Because really, all he does is sit there and wait for you to hit him with these ground pound spheres. He might occasionally move left and right to try and avoid your shots, but it doesn't happen very often. And honestly, for a final boss fight, they could be doing a lot more with this. What's especially disappointing is that the fight leading up to this so-called final battle was much more challenging, and this would have been a much more fitting and climactic ending. But as you go up and get the Grand Star, Bowser jumps up and says, "Nope, you got another fight!" Or so you would think. He makes himself even bigger, making him an even bigger target for this fight. And yeah, he doesn't really do any fighting, other than throwing a very slow fist at you, which you can easily avoid by jumping to the other ball. Compared to the previous battle, this one is a joke. Seriously, Bowser, are you even trying? Goma from Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is an example of a first world boss that they could have done a lot more with. It's the boss that you face inside the Great Diuky tree. And for the extent of the fight, it's just standing there. It won't try to attack you or anything. It's basically just waiting for you to throw a Diuky nut at it so that you can slash it in the eye a few times. It'll retreat to the roof. It'll drop a few eggs on you, which can be easily dispatched, and even if you don't, the enemies are easy enough to beat, and then wash, rinse, repeat. Seriously, you could get into a staring contest with this boss. Even a simple hack and slash attack at this point would at least give me a reason to throw up my shield while I'm doing this, but no, we get nothing. Goma, you're kinda pathetic. Despite being a series known for its difficulty, the Mega Man series has also had its fair share of easy boss fights. But chief among them would have to be the fight with Toadman in Mega Man 4. His attack pattern couldn't be simpler. He'll start by trying to jump on you, then he'll throw his arms up, and then all you have to do is shoot him in the face each time he does so. He'll throw his hands up, shoot him. Throw his hands up, shoot him. Wash, rinse, repeat until he's down. I suppose he has other attacks, but he never uses them because of his bad AI. So if you just keep to this strategy, you'll do just fine. And while I'm on the subject of Mega Man bosses, there is one other one that I wanted to talk about, and that's Flashman. He's regarded as one of the easy robot masters of the series as well, because hey, look how quickly I can shred him with the Mega Buster! There's just one problem though. This is what it's like playing him in normal mode. If you'll recall, Mega Man 2 has a difficulty selection, but there's something amiss here. If you look at the Japanese version, Rockman 2, it has no difficulty selection. They have one mode of play, what we define as difficult mode, which means difficult mode is actually normal mode, and normal mode is actually easy mode. So yes, of course it's going to be easy to beat Flashman on the proverbial easy mode. Try fighting him on the correct difficulty. Tell me if you still think he's easy. So yeah, I don't think Flashman is the easiest Robot Master ever. Toadman hits that one out of the park. Wispy Woods from the Kirby series. Just about every incarnation I've seen of him, he's a freaking pushover. But I think his worst case is in Kirby's Adventure. Once the fight starts, all you gotta do is run up to his face, and then wait behind him for him to drop some apples, suck them up, and throw them back in his face. You're also quite low enough to avoid the wind that he blows at you, so that's a non-issue. And if you're coming in with a copy ability, well then this fight just goes by even faster. This guy has barely any means of attacking the player, other than the apples that he drops. Oh no, he's trying to blow me away, so scary! Even running into him won't damage you. And like I said, other games have this fight go by just as quickly. Then again, what do you expect from an enemy that is essentially a tree? Boom Boom is the boss that you face at the end of every fortress in Super Mario Bros. 3. His means of attack are essentially jump to his feet and start swinging his fist as he walks towards you. All you gotta do is jump on his head 3 times, and down he goes. Alternately, throw 5 fireballs at him. When you do jump on his head, he'll throw his spikes up, so you can't jump on him then, but the moment those spikes go down, you can bop him again. It is so easy to stun lock him that this boss is essentially a non-issue. Even when he starts flying around the room, he's not really a problem. And even if you do miss your jump once or twice, it's easy enough to get the hit in while you have your invincibility frames up. Like, really, you face this boss so many times, and I've never really had a problem beating him in any fortress. I do wish they had done more with Boom Boom in this game, because really it feels like once you've beaten one, you've beaten them all. Very Naughty from Donkey Kong Country. You know what this guy is? It's Boom Boom without the spikes on his back, making him even easier to beat. Oh no, he's jumping towards me. I guess I'll have to jump on his head! Again, this is another boss that's really easy to beat. All you have to do is time where you need to be, and you can bop his head the necessary number of times to take him out, and you'll be done in less than a minute. The alternate boss fight in this game that comes later on, Really Naughty, isn't much harder. He does big high jumps that you can walk under to avoid, and then just jump on his head again and down he goes. Yeah, the boss fights of Donkey Kong Country were probably the least impressive part about this game, save of the last one of course, but it's needless to say Very Naughty was probably the easiest among them. I mean, yeah, he was the first boss of the game, but still, I feel like they could have done more with this. Oh no, it's Big Bad Chaos 6 from Sonic Adventure. He's just one Chaos Emerald away from becoming the ultimate beast. A formidable foe for Sonic or Knuckles, and in this particular instance, it's Big that's going up against him. Would you like to take a guess at what he has to do? All you have to do is walk up to Chaos, throw your rod at Froggy, who is inside of him, and you win. That's it. You can literally beat this boss in 10 seconds flat. I tried walking around this area to see if he would do anything else, and short of this big jump they did that caused a big shockwave that I swear Big cannot jump over, he doesn't seem to do much other than walk towards you. He's like, come on, hurry up and get this frog out of me! But when you stop and think about it, we really must ask ourselves, why is Big's fight so much easier than Sonic or Knuckles' encounter with Chaos 6? What exactly does Tailed Froggy add to this beast? Or rather, what does it take away? See, once Big takes Froggy out, Chaos 6 becomes even more powerful and more of a foe for Sonic and Knuckles to take on. You know, I almost wonder if it would have been better off if he left Froggy in there. See, Big, you're just making Sonic and Knuckles' life harder. This is why nobody likes you. Oh god, that Yoshi is trembling in fear. That can only mean the most powerful enemy ever is on its way over here. It's none other than...
Cloud and Candy.
Yes, a giant beast composed entirely of clouds. Edible clouds at that. I'd say the only way you could get past something like this is if you had a long tongue and a big appetite. That fits Yoshi's bill perfectly. Because this boss is a complete joke. Literally, all you have to do is throw your tongue at him several times to eat him up, and this is how you win the fight. He'll try and jump around and try and jump on top of you, and he goes faster and jumps higher the smaller he is, but any damage that he does to you can be healed by eating him. So you will probably finish this fight with full health. No problem. Forget cotton candy, clouded candy is where it's at. There's no doubt about it, these boss fights are some of the easiest and the most pathetic that I've ever known. Sure, some of these are first-level bosses, and they are meant to be easy, but even they seem a little excessively easy, and that's why they're on this list. But of course, I saved the best for last, and we'll get to that in just a moment, after we're done revisiting the past. Recap! Number 10, Old King Cole. Number 9, Bowser from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Number 8, Goma. Number 7, I surrender! Number 6, Wispy Woods. Number 5, Boom Boom. Number 4, Very Naughty. Number 3, Chaos 6 as Big. And number 2, Cloud and Candy. Despite what I say about these bosses though, I do feel like each of them had at least a legitimate chance of getting a hit in on you during their fight. I could say that about any of them, except for my number 1 pick.
Nothing will ever compare to my belovedly exquisite egg-o-matic hovercraft.
It may be your greatest invention to date, but unfortunately the Egg-o-matic hovercraft is just a complete joke of a boss fight in Sonic 1 Game Gear. You can destroy this thing by jumping into it while it's flying left and right, before Robotnik even gets a chance to do anything with it. And what's he going to do with it? Well, he tries to come slowly down to your level and fly into you from the side. And yes, it's incredibly easy to dodge. So, as long as you're not just standing still on the ground, this guy can't hurt you at all. And this is why you don't use your escape pod as a weapon.
I hate that hedgehog!